What if I told you that there's a hot new club in town? And if you want to come to this club, you got to bring your girl or your guy if that's your persuasion. But once you're inside, if you want to leave, you have to leave your girl or your guy in the club. You got to go back alone. Would you go to that club? Or would you say, hell no, that sounds like some nonsense. I'm not going there. That's exactly what the problem is with Malawi and investors. Malawi has a lot of exchange controls, which mean that it is difficult to get your money out of Malawi. You can bring money in, but you can't get it out. So if you're an investor and you've brought your $1 million into the country, you've invested, you've built a business or whatever, and now you're getting a return on your investment, you've made a little profit, maybe, I don't know, if it's say $200,000, and you want to send it back to where you're from, you can't. So why would someone come do business in Malawi if those are the conditions? 10 years ago, I got into an argument online about the economy of Malawi. And I was saying, what it takes is just smart policy. All you have to do is make the place a place where businesses want to come, like Singapore did. And then someone comes and says, you can't possibly compare Singapore and Malawi because Singapore have natural resources like gold and oil and metals. Like, they don't have precious metals and gems. And bruh, do you know geography at all? Like, do you know Singapore is a tiny, tiny little bit of an island where they have no natural resources? The only way they developed was by making it a financial hub. They removed exchange controls, they lowered taxes, they made it a place that people want to come and do business. They have no natural resources. And you know what's ironic? In the 10 years that have passed since that argument, we found that Malawi has gold and precious minerals and rare earth. 10 years later, the problems with Malawi are the same. The taxes are too high, there are too many exchange controls, the government has too much power, and it's too fickle because the policies change with every regime. If you want to develop a place, you have to give people reasons to be there and to stay there. And you have to make it easy to be there and stay there. So, in technical terms, to develop an economy like Malawi, you need to stimulate aggregate demand, which to me looks like abolishing exchange controls so that there's free movement of capital in and out. You need to reduce taxes, so corporate tax and income tax especially, so that it's easier for people to do business there and keep their money and spend it there. It stimulates consumption. Then you have to remove Reserve Bank's inflation targeting policy rate because that doesn't really make sense for a small economy. Just have a policy rate, an interest rate that stimulates business. So reduce that. Then you have to abolish NOCMA because they have a monopoly on bringing in fuel, which is why there's a fuel crisis. If you liberalize that and allow anyone to bring in fuel at their own prices, the market finds the price, the intersection between supply and demand, and then you will have fuel again. And then what else can we do? You have to invest in infrastructure, so telecoms, water, energy, road networks, rail networks, and all that stuff, so that again the cost of doing business is lowered, and also it's easier to live there when you have all these things like healthcare centers and education and all that. It makes life easier. It makes being there easier. And what else can we do? Yes, float the kwacha. Allow it to find its market equilibrium price. Oh no, but devaluation, depreciation, it never works. Well, it's never worked because it's never been done in conjunction with free movement of capital. If you have exchange controls in place and you devalue your currency, it's not going to work. You have to remove the exchange controls for it to work.